Late 2022, the state of Qatar organized the most expensive World Cup in history for $220 billion. Qatar, it's the tiny country right here, and it was very poor in 1930. Turns out they would discover oil in the 40s, then the country's destiny changed to what we know today. But to make our point in today's video, let's take a look at that other country in South Asia. Just 60 years ago, Singapore became an independent nation, seemingly cursed to remain a third world nation by recent history of social and economic unrest, the chronic housing shortage, and the lack of access to education, just on top of having no oil like Qatar did. But somehow, Singapore managed to become one of the world's top economies, having a highly qualified workforce, one of the lowest unemployment rate in the world, and even exceed Qatar in terms of GDP. How did this happen? Let's start the story in the 1800s, when Singapore became a British colony as a key port for the empire in the Far East. This marked the beginning of English rule, which lasted until World War II, when Japanese forces occupied the island. Singapore fell into a state of violence, disorder, and looting, and much of the island's infrastructure got destroyed during the war. Food shortage and diseases skyrocketed before things started to recover after the war and capitulation of Japan. But the failure of Britain to protect its colony against the Japanese changed its image in the eyes of Singaporeans, and that would eventually lead the British to leave the island. Now, new tensions arise between Singapore with Malaysia and Indonesia. You have roughly here the conditions that saw the birth of the Singaporean nation on August 1965. But it is not only a nation that was born at that moment, but also a business plan, a project that would soon surprise the world. Quick pause here, just wanted to let you know that I hope this video is as interesting for you to watch as it was for me to create. Please click to subscribe and smash that like button so YouTube can forward it to more people who might like it as well. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to our story. We're in 1974, 9 years of independence for Singapore, and this article just came out. People start to realize how uncanny the smallest country of Asia really is. It's literally a nation run like a company. You have at the top the government led by British educated lawyer Lee Kuan Yew and his strict ethics of effectiveness. What good can we get out of it? The matter is, good attitudes toward manual work is instilled to students, as grade schools are assigned to sweep classrooms and clean toilets, and colleges downgrade liberal arts to stress accounting and engineering to meet with business needs. Parts of the police force is hired out to a state-owned company as guards for banks and factories. Government printing office accepts commercial work, and tax money is hoarded in bank accounts or invested to gather interest for the state. As Singapore quickly make of itself a trustworthy political and financial environment with low-wage workforce, foreign companies start to move in and investments blow up. This massive foreign fundings will be heavily invested in the country's human resources and infrastructure. Technical schools opened and international corporations were hired to train unskilled workers in high-demand fields such as petrochemicals, electronics, and tourism. From exporting textiles and basic electronics in the 1970s, Singapore was raising eyebrows as soon as 20 years later because they had dabbled in electrical machinery, computers, germs, oil refining, and so much more. Education, healthcare, personal safety, best place for business, lowest corruption level, busiest port in the world, housing, lowest infant mortality rate, fastest internet connection. Today, as Singapore is getting ready to celebrate its 60th independence anniversary, these are all ranks that the country is at the top 10 worldwide. But it's worth mentioning that Singapore is not all pink. The shutting of political opposition, death penalties for things like drug trafficking and corruption, the destruction of indigenous population, natural property to build storage tanks, and silencing of criticizing media outlets are very common things in Singapore and often the cause of the country being criticized by international organizations. We haven't got oil and minerals on which other people have to pay royalties, said Lee Kuan Yew one day, so we developed a different approach to life. Now I'm very interested to read your opinion on the Singapore approach to life, so let's catch up in the comment section. See you!